I don't know if I'm live or not. Uh, this is supposed to be a. This is supposed to be a. This is supposed to be a live stream, but apparently it's going to be a live podcast, audio only. Uh, yeah, because I do not see my face here anyway. Anyhow, anywho, but it is what it is, right? As the title says, Barack Obama, or it says Obama, scold black men, you know, ostracize them, I guess, it was talking about, making them feel bad, talking badly about them. And I don't know what way, when, where, how, because basically I saw that that segment, which was like 6 minutes, and it wasn't a segment; it was a 6 minute thing, right? I guess you could call it an event, right? Where he talked to a group of men for about 6 minutes, and I can't tell you if it was before or after that dynamic speech that he gave. Yeah, I said that dynamic speech. He gave a 55-minute speech. I think it was in Erie, Pennsylvania the other day. I can't tell if this conversation happened before or after the speech. It doesn't give a designation, right? That I was able to discern. Okay, so now that being the case, that's my Donald Trump pause. That's my Donald Trump pause. Keith, don't do that. Keith, don't do that. Don't make fun of him. He's an idiot. What was I going to say? Yeah, like I was saying. And I can't see what the problem is. I know that it triggered off a lot of people. It really triggered a lot of people. And the reason why it triggered a lot of people was because what he said, how he said it, and who he was saying it to, but it was not what they tried to make it to be. This is a bunch of crap, BS, that the fake stream media, the Republican media, they call it conservative, but it's the Republican media, generated. Because he touched on a topic and a subject that I touched on. If you want to know about scolding people, well, you should have seen what I had to say. You'll be like, "Oh no, he wasn't. No. Y'all want to sing kumbaya with him because he said what I said, but he said it in a more of a political and diplomatic way. And what I said was that men in general don't want to vote for her because she's a woman. Black men don't want to vote for him because she's a black woman. Those there are the let me see if I remember what I said, because it was a few weeks ago, not that far back, but a few weeks ago. And what I said was something to the nature of they're politically naive, they're politically stupid, or they're politically ignorant. And I meant it, and I still mean it to today. I meant it then, and I mean it today. That this is the problem. You have, and he said the same thing I said, you have this intelligent black woman who has a career of doing things, who come from the same environment. A single parent household. A single parent household. Her and her her sister. But yet she grew up to go to a HBCU, a historical black college, university, in which now, 35 years later, her working with the president has given, I believe, up to over $15 billion to the HBCUs, who are being underfunded by billions of dollars for the last 100 years. Compare that to Donald Trump, who gave only $250 million to non-white or minority colleges. That includes HBCUs. $250 million. But he did it only because his bill needed to be passed. The big bill needed to be passed, but the Congress was not going to allow it unless he put the 200, unless it was passed and he signed it with the $250 million. She comes from a place where she didn't have all the $1 million, the $100,000 car when she graduated. She didn't get the $100,000 car, the $20,000 car from mom, pop, dad. No, she did like you doing. But there's a lot of lazy, jealous, spiteful, and hateful brothers out here. Nah, it makes me look bad. How it make you look bad? How it make you look bad? That's what you triggered. You so sensitive. So sensitive. But yet the white man, and I'm gonna say it just like that, the white candidate who discriminated against your parents and some of your grandparents, depending on your age, in the 70s and the 80s, to the point where the federal government, he was sued by the federal government for housing discrimination. Wow. He put out a full-page ad asking for the killing, the murdering, the death penalty for 5 youth, minority youth, Black and Latino, Black and Hispanic. This is what he did. When they were exonerated, he doubled down on it. Yeah, he's not racist. He wasn't racist to becoming president. No, he was racist before that. He was racist before that. Not after he became a candidate. No. This is part of history. This is facts. She prosecuted the same people who he hung out with and he support. She prosecuted the drug cartels. What did he do with the drug cartels? He didn't do nothing. Nothing. She was doing something about it. What was he doing? Nothing. Bragging about an economy that he did not have any making of it. You got two distinct candidates with two separate agendas. One to help you out. The average person, the average Black man, the average Black woman, the average Black family, the low income. But I'm going to throw a little caveat in there, because what they didn't want you to hear when they talk about scolding Black men, he said, okay, let me talk to your brothers. And the first response that somebody said, whose back was to the camera, and you can watch it. Go watch it. I advise for you to go watch it, to look at the clip, to look at it. He goes, yeah. Sitting down, he goes, this is what the guy says. The audience member goes, Putin. What? and Obama looked at him like, looks out at him like, what? Putin. That's all he said, Putin. What the hell does that mean by Putin? Putin ain't nothing. Putin is the enemy of the nation, of America. She is the enemy of America. Kim Jong-un, the enemy of America. These are enemies of America that Donald Trump embraces. She stands up against it. It's like during the debate. She told you that during the debate, the world leaders are laughing at him because he's a joke. He keeps embracing Putin, his buddy. He's the only president. He's the only president I know in my lifetime, that embraced the communist leaders like he's doing. JFK stood up, put missiles ready to blow Cuba off the map. If they took missiles, not because they became communists, but if they took missiles from Cuba. If they took missiles from Russia. LBJ stood his ground. Richard Nixon stood his ground. Jimmy Carter stood his ground. Ronald Reagan stood his ground. Gorbachev, tear that wall down. Gorbachev, tear that wall down. Remember that? George H.W. Bush stood his ground. Nah, you ain't doing that, dog. Yeah. Bill Clinton stood his ground. Russia stood down. It's been a Cold War going on since 1960. George H.W. Bush stood his ground. They were frenemies. Barack Obama stood his ground. The only president in United States history during this Cold War, this 60-year Cold War, actually it's 60 to 65-year Cold War, was and is Donald Trump. Another first for him. Another first. And that's what Barack Obama brought up. Biden stood his ground. Donald Trump is for the last 3.5 years, talking about how Putin is Putin, how I love Putin, me and Putin is besties, and she, and he's talking all that trash. I would advise for you to do one thing. Since you support this candidate who's supposed to be Mr. Strong, and that's what he was saying. Oh, you think that's being a strong man? By supporting the male candidate? The biggest buffoon in politics? I would advise for you to just Google Donald Trump's international trademarks and see how many different countries who are our enemies, who Donald Trump is doing business with right now. He want to keep talking she, but the reality is that he has more trademarks with China than any other country of the 80 plus countries that he has trademarks with. He's got trademarks with Iran. He's got trademarks with North Korea. He's got trademarks with Venezuela. He's got trademarks with Russia. He's got trademarks with the Saudis. This man has trademarks with all of our enemies. And that's what Barack Obama was saying. You talking about this is a strong man and want to sit it out because you'll nitpick one issue or not, the economy. And if you listen to that speech, the speech that went on at the time that he made these comments, because when he made the comments, it was in a little room where he made the comments. He said, listen, we'll talk to the brothers first. But then he said, okay, I want to talk to I want to talk to men in general. You want to sit this out or vote for somebody who don't have any of your interests, don't have your interests at heart. But it's not just black folk. It's lower class, it's middle income and lower class, lower income people who he has nothing no compassion for. He does not have your interest. This man gave away trillions of tax breaks. Trillions to the very wealthy. So what are you talking about? And that's what Obama was talking about. That's what President Obama brought up. And they said he's scolding black men. Well, guess what? If that's scolding, kind of light, if you ask me. No, what he did, he brought up a point, a valid point that people have been glossing over or not bringing up, not addressing. I did a few weeks ago. For him to say it, I'm like a genius. I'm like, okay, see, great minds think alike, right? Think about it. I want you to seriously think about it. If you look at that and see the scolding, you tell me about it. Scolding. I've never heard of anything as ridiculous as that common. The problem is they got triggered because he touched on a subject matter. He put a pin. He made people think about what you're talking, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Think about what you're doing and think about why you're doing it. And he told her, it's because she's a woman. Men in general, she's a woman. And that's what you're thinking. She's a woman. It makes me weak to vote for a woman. Oh, women are supporting you all your lives. Some of you you would not be where you at. If you're doing bad, you would have been doing even poorly without that woman supporting you. But now a woman comes up and you can't support her. You know what he said? At the end of that, you got a problem with that. You know what I said? I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. With that, what y'all think about this? And while y'all at it, why don't y'all subscribe to me and give me your likes, give me the likes and put your comments. All right. Y'all have a good one.